Yes, Mheshimiwa Bob Mwiti.
Habari yako sir?
Yes. Karibu tena. Kwa wale wanaingia, Bob tumekuwa naye hapa another week, alikuwa anatuelezea about wale watu wanachukuanga the IT diploma, then masters in IT kuwapeleka US. Then nikaona there were so many questions that the guys were asking, wale wanataka kwenda kusoma, and for that matter tungetaka kuwa tunamleta hapa every Sunday and Wednesday. Every Sunday and Wednesday tutakuwa na yeye hapa akituelezea about kusomea US. So Bob, sijui kama unaweza fanya introduction, the recap of what we discussed nini earlier, then tujue tunaendeleaje.
Okay. Asante sana Mutembei. Mi naitwa Bob and I live in the US. Nakaa at a place called, at a state called Florida, in a city called Tampa. Sasa mimi, I've been here for about 11 years now. I came in 2009 and I came here as a master's student. Nikakuja 2009, alafu nika-graduate from university in 2011. And then kutoka hapo nika-join into corporate America, and I worked as an IT consultant until at some point around 2017, where I started my own company inaitwa Upstack America. And basically what we do at Upstack America, we help mostly African immigrants to get education and IT job opportunities that are very abundant here in the US. So tunasaidianga watu sana, those who are in Kenya and they are extremely smart, wangependa kukuja huku America, tunawasaidia hiyo process yote ya kukuja huku. Tuko na program inaitwa Kenya Airlift program. It's a very popular program back in Kenya. I think maybe a few of the audience out there, they might have a knowledge of it. And basically what we do, tuna source funding for those guys who are coming through that program. We work with specific schools, and these are usually really good state universities. We work with them where now we source for funding from the schools in terms of graduate assistantship awards, which is basically like scholarships where you are given scholarship and then you work for it, okay, within the department that gives you the award. Also, normally, that amount is usually not enough to take care of your, sometimes it may not be enough because sometimes the school may issue you with half graduate assistantship award or, a full. But if it's not enough, also we partnered with lenders that offer unsecured international student loans. And these are loans that are usually not, they don't require you to have any security or collateral, okay? So you just need to show that you're smart, and that's really, those are the kind of, students that we look for. Alafu sasa tuna sort out funding in that aspect. So also, what we have also to reform SACCO. SACCO is basically like a bank, very popular in Kenya. That SACCO is called the Airlift SACCO. Na inasaidia sasa, once a student joins the program, SACCO inasaidia kuwapea some of the money that is needed for the relocation process. That whole process ya kukuja America, it's usually costly, okay? And we formed the SACCO to take care of those expenses that are needed for you to be able to come on this side. So that's really how the program works in a nutshell. Another thing is that once now the students are here in the US, we train them on job skills, and these are IT job skills. We have some amazing IT training programs on the latest cutting edge skills. We have training programs on robotics, process automation, business analyst. We have training programs on robotics, process automation developer. We have training programs on data science, and this is on artificial intelligence and machine learning. These are some amazing IT job skills that we normally train these students who are coming through the Kenya Airlift program on the side, and this is for free for them now to have those skills that are needed in the job market once they graduate from school. Also, part of what we do is we help with any job placements that they may need once they graduate from school, because also we realize there's a lot of, sometimes it's usually a lot of challenge for most of our international students to be able to get really good jobs in corporate America. So that's really what we do in a nutshell in terms of that Kenya Airlift program. Apart from that, also we do, like I said, IT training programs here in the US. That's really actually our core business. And also we do placement services for those who want to get good jobs here in the US.
Okay. So basically ni wale watu sharp kabisa kabisa, watu brilliant, si watu
Yes.
wajinga kama mimi.
I'm not sure how you are, but yes, we try to look for those brilliant students because of the fact that we work with like really top schools here in the US, and these are usually like really good state universities. And also because of the fact that there's some exams that you have to do for you to come through the program, because here in the US, for you to come for a master's program, especially in IT or anything to do with business, you're required to do some exam. It's called Graduate Management Admissions Test, or GRE, which is called, which stands for Graduate Records Examination. Those two exams are pretty similar. They test your IQ abilities, and they test mostly math and English. Now, if you're coming for, let's say, for example, you're coming for an IT that is very closely tied to business, or you're coming for a business program, you do graduate management admissions test exam. But if you are coming for a very techy kind of a program, let's say, for example, computer science or software engineering, most schools, they require you to sit for GRE exam, Graduate Records Examination. Okay, so so those are some of the things that you have to do. And through our program, we don't accept anybody who scored below. Let's say, for example, for GMAT, you must score at least a 550 out of 800 for you to have a chance of getting through our Kenya Airlift program. And we put this because of the fact that the schools that we work with, they also require very high GMAT score or GRE score. Okay, so that's why you're always looking for those brilliant ones who can actually be able to survive the GMAT, because it seems like also in our program, the main challenge of someone coming to the US through our program is actually the GMAT exam. It's not easy. We provide all the materials and everything, all the support systems, but also we still tend to see students failing. And we also normally give the students a second chance. If they're able to pass again at the second attempt, then we can take them on board and they can come through the program. Yeah, so that's the main reason really why we just take those brilliant ones. And also, because also of the fact that we train the students on the side once they are here in the US, our training programs, they are not very easy. These are like really, really tough training programs. And you can imagine, these are programs that you're being trained as you pursue your master's. And this is master's in IT, for example, data science, analytics, because those are the kind of programs that we want students to do here. So it's a big, workload. And if you're not really sharp, you can mess up either your school grades, and your school grades are very, very important, because also the school, they are giving you scholarships, those graduate assistantship awards. So we don't want someone who can struggle in this whole process. And that's really why we look out for the best brains out there in Kenya.
So hapo umesema stories za loan wanapewa huko America ama wanapewa wakiwa Kenya?
Yeah, so the way the program works is that now once someone passes the GMAT exam, huwa sasa tunaanza application to the schools. Okay, the school, and these are the schools that we work with. Don't just send students to any school out here, because we have like thousands and thousands of universities. Then now, once the student is accepted to the schools that we want them to study here, and for the program that we've chosen for them to study here, so the next thing that the school usually asks us is to provide to provide confirmation that this student can be able to take care of their education. Okay. Normally, the school is offering a graduate assistantship award. They tell us that this student has been offered this award. If it's not enough, they'll also want to know how will the student fund the other aspect of the tuition and living expenses here in the US. So now, at that point is when now we engage our lenders. We have an official partnership with one lender called Empower Financing. Okay, they are based out of here in the US. they offer unsecured international student loans, and not just to Kenyans, but everywhere across the world. All right, so they are our official partners in the program. And also there's also another lender that we also use on the side also as an alternative. They also offer unsecured international student loans. They are based out of the UK. They are a bit they are not very lenient when it comes to those that they want to lend to that other lender, because they look at credit score for students and all that. But the ones that we partner with officially, they don't even look at your credit score. So what they are looking at is basically your, whether you are sharp or not. And they also look at the program that we want you to study here. Also, they don't just support any school. So these are lenders that actually also work with the schools that we work with. All right. So now, once we submit applications for the loan and it's approved, the lender now liases with the school. And once the student gets here in the US, once the loan is approved, the loan is approved when the student is still in Kenya. Okay, because that loan document is also needed for the student to apply for the student visa. Okay, so that's what you have to show, that you have the funding, because that is needed at the embassy for you to show that you have the funding for you to enable you come and study and live here in the US. Okay, so they give us those approvals, and then we use that now for processing of the visa. And once the student gets the visa and they come on this side now and they register with the school, that's now when the lender sends the money to the school. They don't send the money to you when you're still in Kenya, because you can run away with the money.
Okay, the process sasa ya kutoka Kenya kuja huko, is the student supposed to live everything ama kuna some funds pia?
Yes, this process is very, very costly, and we are providing a lot of value in this program. And some of the value that we provide to the program, a lot of people actually don't see it. A lot of people may be out there, they think they think this Kenya Airlift program is a program that is just bringing students to come and study here in the US. But actually, it's not just that, because we've realized here in the US, a lot of people are struggling to get good jobs in corporate America, and also getting immigration papers, okay? Those documents that are needed for you to live and work here in the US. Okay, when you come as a student, you're coming as a student. You're not coming as someone who is coming to study here. Okay, but what you're trying to solve in this Kenya Airlift program is the issue of funding, of course, the issue of immigration documents and good jobs in corporate America. Okay, and we are able to do that by training them and helping them, with any placement services once they graduate from school. Okay, now what we did also in terms of helping with the funding, we formed a circle that supports that relocation process in terms of the expenses that are needed, because that whole process actually costs a lot of money. There's money that is needed for you to get, of course, a passport if you don't have one. There is money needed for you to register for GMAT exam or GRE exam. It's about $250. Okay, and if you fail once, then if you take another exam, that's another $250. And a lot of students actually they do that. Okay, there's also costs that are associated with your visa fees. When you go to the visa, they're gonna charge you, I think, around $160. Also, there's a cost that are associated with your service record. Service record is basically a payment that you normally have to make before even you go for the visa at the embassy, where it's paid to a government agency that deals with immigration, issues here in the US to manage student records. Okay, and that is around, actually it's $350 that you have to pay. Then also there's also other costs that are associated with this whole process of coming here. For example, once you get the visa, schools will require you to do some immunizations and all that. Also, there's cost for air tickets. Okay, coming to the US, one-way ticket. For example, I was just booking our students who are coming this August this morning, and the tickets were going for like $1,000. Okay, one-way ticket from Kenya to Tampa. So all those costs, okay, are usually needed for that whole process. Now, so what we did in the program is that we once we form the circle, we ask now the students who are joining the program to contribute to the circle. Okay, so that now in the circle we have a revolving fund that gives those who are living and coming to America, the circle can give them 3 times as much as what they contribute. So minimum contribution is $1,000, and then the student gets $3,000 at that time of relocation. All right, and also part of also what that $3,000 covers is our own consultation fees as a company. All right, for this whole process. All right, so that's really what is needed for someone to join the Kenya Airlift program, and those are some of the expenses that are needed for you to successfully come and study here in the US. I get a lot of people out there, thinking that, okay, as much as, we are providing access to funding, which is very, very expensive. Studying here in the US, it's going to cost you like 5 million Kenya shillings, okay, in 2 years for a master's program. Not many people can be able to get that kind of money, unless maybe your family is, like maybe you, Mutembe, you are rich and you can be able to support yourself, right? So not many Kenyan families can be able to get that kind of money. And that's really why we have this program. Because I realize there's so many brilliant Kenyans out there. They don't have a job. Most of them, in fact, actually, most of those guys who are coming through our Kenya Airlift program, most of them actually don't even have any good jobs. And these are people who had graduated like almost 5 years ago. Most of them also, they are doing all these online writing, and that's how they are able to manage their, their lives. Okay, but we are providing them with an avenue, okay, of coming here and bettering their lives. Okay, this place here in the US, there's a lot of opportunities. Okay, a lot of them. I came here as a student. I've gone through that path. Okay, and I know the opportunities that are there, and that's really what we are trying to provide anybody who is coming through our program. As long as they are smart, these guys, they need a chance, they need a better place where they can be able to showcase their skills, their knowledge, their intellectual ability, and they'll be able to make good money. Here in the US, you can make good money. When I talk good money, I mean you are making like about $1 million a month. It's very possible. You just need to have the right skills. And that's really what we focus on. For us, remember I said, it's not just about coming to the US to study here. There's more to that. We train the students on the side, on the job skill, and that's one of the most important things. Because even personally, when I came to the US and I graduated from school, it was very hard for me to actually find a job, because I didn't have the skills that Americans don't have. Because if you come here as an international student, you have to have skills that Americans don't have. And that's how the US now, businesses or companies can be able to absorb you. They are required, companies here, they are required by the US government to hire Americans first before they hire an alien. Okay, so now if you come here for a master's, let's say, for example, you come like me. I came for an MBA. I had a Bachelor of Commerce degree from Kenya in accounting and finance. I didn't have much experience. I had worked at Equity Bank as a teller for just 6 months at Westlands before I got my visa to come here. So now when I graduated with my master's here with my MBA, and I was trying to look for work, good jobs. When I say good job, I don't mean like jobs that are paying you minimum wage. Okay, I'm talking about jobs where you're working in corporate America, making good money. All right. So getting those kind of jobs is very hard when you're an international student, because you don't really have the skills. Most of the time, you don't have the skills that Americans don't have. For example, if you come for an MBA and you don't have anything else, there's so many teller jobs here in the US. They don't want to give those kind of jobs to to foreigners. Okay, they want to give foreigners jobs that Americans cannot do. And those are what are those jobs? Mostly it's IT, because IT is not for everybody out there. Okay, we focus on those really very complex IT skills. Okay, when you hear about some of the programs that we do, artificial intelligence, machine learning, robotics, process automation, these are not kind of skills that anybody out there on the street can have. No. Okay, these are skills for very few people. And that's how you are able to, make good money once you're here in the US. Because you already have the skills. We let them go and do masters in IT, mostly in data science, analytics, and all that. And then now, at the same time, they are being trained on the skills that are needed on the job market that Americans don't have. Okay, that's how now we are able to provide them so much value when someone comes through the Kenya Airlift program. By the way, you know what? Even I think even in Kenya, most IT consulting jobs, even here in the US, like 70%, it's Indians who do them. Waindi huku wanakuanga na pesa Mutembei, a lot of money. Huh? Huh? Mimi naonanga most of our people here, they are like struggling, you know, with the low-paying jobs. Na huku watu wetu sana, we've been known as one of the communities that are very highly educated.
So
Okay.
so Bob niulize hii application inakaa it's damn expensive. Ama how much tuseme sasa Mutembei anataka kuja kufanya master in IT. How much am I supposed to put?
So let's say, for example, you are not coming through the Kenya Airlift program, right? You are trying just to do your own things. For a master's program, you will need, on average, about, master's goes up to 2 years. On average, per year, you'll need around $25,000 for a master's. Okay, $25,000. So in 2 years, that's $50,000. That's $5 million that you need for you to come and study here. If you're a really serious student, you want to come to school and actually study. Okay, now, on top of that, you will need money for your relocation expenses. You will need money for your air tickets, you know, visas and all that. So that's what it costs someone like you who want to come and study here in the US.
Na nikikuja na your program, then how much will it cost me?
So if you come through our program, all you're contributing is $1,000, okay, into the circle. The circle will take care of those expenses that we've talked about for relocation, GMAT, all that. Okay, they'll give you a loan of $3,000, and of course, our consultation fees as a company, we charge $1,000. So all that is taken care of by the circle's loan that the circle gives you at the time when you are relocating, and then also your tuition is paid for using graduate scholarship awards and unsecured international student loan. So all you need to put in is $1,000 to get into the program, and you can find yourself here in the US.
But $1,000 unasema 1,000 ni consultation ama 1,000 ni gani?
$1,000 you basically contribute to the circle, okay, as your contribution to the circle, because once we start the process, we don't go asking students to give us this money, to give us this. Let's say, for example, we're applying to the school. The schools need application money. We don't go asking the student, okay, give us $30 for us to apply to this school, because we apply to like 3 schools for the students, yeah? And then also these other monies that are needed for visa fees and all that, and even air tickets. You don't keep on going to the student all the time. So the student contributes that $1,000 into the circle's account. Okay, and then now we keep on taking that money, whatever we are spending for the student, we take all that from the student's account, all right? And later on, when the student relocates, then we give them a statement that shows this is what we used. And then now the circle gives them $3,000, okay, as a loan for expenses, because also part of the expense that the student will have to incur for this whole process is our own consultation fees, which is also $1,000. So that money from the circle actually is able to take care of our consultation fees and the other expenses that the student has to incur in the program.
Okay, I think tuingie kwa maswali sasa, because I can see so many people wako na maswali. Kama hiyo swali ya kwanza hapo utakuwa unasoma unaendelea.
Yeah, so there's someone here who is asking about someone who scored a B+, and they want a scholarship. See, our programs are for master's students. We don't deal with undergraduate students. So if you want to come for undergraduate here, then you can be able to come through our program, because our program is for masters, not even PhD, just master's students. Now, I see there's someone asking about they would like to study in USA. How can I start? Well, so what you really need to do to kickstart the process is for you to actually know what you want to study and at what level. Okay, because there's 3 levels, excluding high school. There's 3 levels that you can come and study here in the US. You can come and study for an associate degree, which is basically like a diploma that we have in Kenya. Okay, it's a 2-year program. There's a lot of universities here. They call them here community colleges. Now, that one you go for if you don't have, if you don't have a degree and you just want to, just maybe that's what you want. Okay, there's another level where you come to study for your undergraduate. And then there's the other level where you come to study for graduate. Basically, this graduate is for masters and PhD students. So it depends with what you need yourself. So that based on that now you can start the process. The process, you can basically go on the internet, look for schools that offer whatever program that you want to do, and you'll be able to find them out there. There's so many of them. In the US has there's thousands and thousands of universities that you can come and study. So that's how you start the process. Someone is asking whether they offer technical courses. I don't know what you mean by technical courses. But here in the US, and I think because the US, they have so many universities, they take care of anything, whatever you want. Okay, whatever kind of career you want to take, you can always find something for you to study. All right, I don't see whether there's any other question, but I go back to. Okay, I can see someone there is saying that they know me and I went to the same primary school. Like, I think I know the person. Okay, see someone else also asking they are interested in joining the US Army. Well, I hear that there's a way that someone can join the US Army. I think a lot of Kenyans here in the US, they're in the US Army. There's a way out, but I don't know much about that. I usually don't like giving advice on issues that I'm not good at. So I leave that at that. So maybe you can do your own, more research and try to figure out how that is done. Well, there's someone here who's asking me about to give you exact number of universities. I can't give exact number of universities because there's so many of them. All right. If you want to know the universities that are here, we actually have, if you go to our company's website, which is www.abstechamerica.com, you can be able to see, we have a show that we discuss the various schools here in the US, various state universities that that are not very, very expensive by state. And we have a lot of that information there on our website. So just go there and check out some of those schools. I can't list them all of them here in this show. Now,
kuna watu wanakutu
kuna watu wananitusi hapo. So those ones who are sending bad vibes, we don't have that time to discuss, to respond to them. There's so many, haters on the internet. You just have to ignore them. I applied for this program before coming to Texas last year. It's damned expensive. I would advise anybody interested to look for other channels. Well, see, the thing is, our program is not just for anybody out there, right? We focus on specific kind of students. All right. So, it's very easy for someone to just, talk out there and say something is expensive, whereas they haven't actually learned exactly how that program works. You've been able to explain exactly what we provide apart from just coming to the US. You see, a lot of people out there, they don't know anything about what happens once you graduate from school here in the US. Okay, they just think that, when you come here in the US, you're going to graduate, you're going to get a good job. It's not always like that, okay? And you have to strategize. You have to know exactly how you're going to be able to transition now from a student to being a skilled worker here in the US. And also, that's part of what we provide in the Kenya Airlift program. I see a question about which is the best state to study in the US, as in friendly to foreigners. Well, I think you can study anywhere that you want to really go. I think it all also depends on what you are really looking for. Okay, because see, all states are not the same. And you said like the best state for foreigners, that's a very relative kind of question, because I mean, I can give all kinds of answers. Now, here's the thing. When it comes to different states, there's a lot of those states that are up north, which are very cold. Okay, maybe if you're someone from Africa and you don't like the cold, then maybe that may not be a good state for you to live in. There's also states on the southern side which are usually hot. Like for example, you are based in Tampa, Florida. It's very warm here. We don't get any snow. Okay, it's just like Mombasa in Kenya. All right, because you're on the next to the ocean. Also, states like California, they're also very warm. Okay, they don't get snows there. So depending with what you want. Okay, what do you like? Now, in terms of, there's other things that you have to look at also when you are looking at the state that you want to go to. Mostly also how costly it is to live in that state. Okay, for example, if you go to a state like Hawaii, it's very, very expensive. Okay, if you go to state like California, life there is very, very expensive. If you go to states like New York and you are living in Manhattan, New York, it's very, very expensive. Okay, so those are some of the things that you have to look at when you are deciding which state you want to come and study. Okay, and of course also, because also if you go to our website, we have a list of universities that we discuss for each and every state, and these are universities that don't cost a lot of money to come and study your masters. You can be able to figure out, good schools from different states. And for example, if you're in a state that is in Midwest, for example, North Dakota, South Dakota, Kansas, Missouri, like those states that are like in the middle of nowhere, let me put it that way, those states usually are not very, very expensive in terms of your living expenses. Okay, even for us in the Kenya Airlift program, we also try to send students to the states that are much more manageable in terms of expenses. All right, because for example, right now we are sending students to Michigan. There's a school there. Accommodation there, it's not very expensive. It's about maybe $400 a month for a shared accommodation for students. If you are, for example, here in Tampa, your accommodation for a shared accommodation for a student is about maybe $650. Okay, so you can see the difference. Schools like, for example, we have a school in North Dakota State, which is like Midwest, somewhere in the middle of nowhere. That school is very, very affordable. Either the school itself is offering student, they offer in-state tuition rates, which is basically half of what international students pay. Okay, so some of these schools that you work with, they offer that in-state, tuition fees, which is a big, big deal. So anyways, those are some of the factors that you have to consider when you're deciding which place to come and study. So I think that's a good explanation for that question about which state is the best for foreigners. And also, I personally went to the state of Pennsylvania in a city called Pittsburgh. That's where I went to school. I went to a school called Indiana University of Pennsylvania. Somewhere in the middle of nowhere. Then after that, I started looking for work everywhere across the US. Now, someone here is asking, I've been offered a PhD program in US without financial aid. Can I get any support from your institute? Well, unfortunately, again, like I said, we deal with master's students because of the fact that in our programs, we have to source for funding, and even the lenders that you work with, they only work with master's students, because these lenders, as much as they are giving you a loan to come and study here in the US, they also want you to start repaying that loan quickly. Okay, so and the shortest time that someone can study is 2 years, master's program. In fact, actually, if you are doing a master's here, you can even take a master's within 1 year, because it all depends with how many number of units you are taking every semester. Now, international students, they are required to take a minimum of 3 units and a maximum of 5. So if you are taking maybe a max of 5 every semester, and most master's programs, they usually have a minimum of 10 units and a max of like 12. So if you see, if you're not taking 5 units every semester, you can actually knock off your master's within 2 years. All right, so these lenders, they look for those who can be able to finish their programs in 2 years. Those are the ones that they can lend to. Okay, so if you're coming for a PhD, it's very hard to be funded in terms of student loan, because a PhD would take more than 2 years. It's usually like about 4 years. So yeah, we don't work with PhD students, because those that come through a program, these are people that you want them to work to finish school, start working very quickly, and then also so that they can be able to repay some of the loans that they get from our circle. Now, I see a question about someone asking about someone who graduated from University of Nairobi with a law degree, and they're asking whether they can get a chance there. Well, I mean, through a program, yes, as long as the student is willing to study an IT master's. You don't have to have an IT undergraduate for you to come and study IT-related master's program here in the US. Okay, if that student is willing to get into the tech industry, they can come through a program. But apart from that, let's say, for example, they just want to pursue some law master's degree here in the US, they can still do it, but not really through a program, because we don't focus on anything outside of IT or business master's programs. Okay, someone else is asking about whether we can help that person coming for PhD here. No, we don't work with PhD students. Now, I have a question here of someone asking, how do we deal with American police or cops here because of social profiling and all that? Well, what I always say is this, like sometimes maybe people over-exaggerate these things outside there, maybe. But I mean, you're always pretty safe. We just watch things on on TV, just like everybody else. Okay, so it's not like something that is occurring on a day-to-day basis that you have to be so worried and all that. And every country has its own challenges. Even in Kenya, there's so much, hatred, tribal hatred and stuff like that. So every country, they have all kinds of their problems. But I always tell these people this, you see, there's a lot of people out there, always they look for the negative ways that will block them from pursuing something. Okay, but ambitious people, they don't look at those as something that can stop them from whatever they want to do. So honestly, like if you want to come and study here in the US, I wouldn't care about what cops are doing on TV. No, I come here, I go to school, I study my master's, and I'm done. I get a good job, stay in a very nice neighborhood. No one will touch you, and obey the laws. Don't go driving and drinking and driving and all those kind of things. You'll never be in trouble anywhere across the world, not just the US. Okay, so a lot of people out there, they're always looking for things that can stop them from pursuing something. And so those are usually excuses that you should not have. If you want something, go for it. Don't worry about what other things. There are some things that are beyond your, you can't do anything about it. Okay, so leave that. Just focus on what you can do. Someone is asking, hey, I need to do master's in history, for I have a bachelor's degree in education, arts, history, Swahili. How can you help me? Unfortunately, again, for us, really, we focus on IT or business-related master's programs. So that's the only way that you can be able to come through our programs. If you are not into that, if you don't want to get into that career, unfortunately, our program may not be a good fit for you.
So ukisema business courses, business masters ni kama business in what?
There's a lot of business-related master's programs out there. Like, for example, a very popular one is, let's say, for example, Master of Business Administration, which is MBA. That's what I did when I came here. There's a lot of other business courses that are also like, for example, IT. For example, you can come and do business analytics. That's a business program, although it's IT. There's a Master of Science in Economics, Financial, Quantitative Economics. There's a lot of business programs out there. So many of them.
When it comes to
anything that related to that, we can always be able to handle it. Yes.
And when it comes to job opportunities, when umefanya masters in business or masters in IT, how available are the jobs?
Now here's the thing. If you just do an academic training, like for example, come just for masters, and that's it, you're gonna find it very, very hard for you to get a good job. Okay, you see, a lot of people out there back home, they think that once you come here in the US, life is smooth and there's jobs everywhere and all that. Okay, but also remember, when you're coming to study here in the US, you are coming as a brilliant person, intellectual. Okay, you should not be looking for these jobs that everybody else is doing. Let's say, for example, a job that pays you a minimum wage. Okay, maybe working at McDonald's somewhere, fast food and all that. Or maybe cleaning someone's house for like $15 an hour. I'm not talking about those jobs. Those jobs are there. Anybody can do them. Okay, but now, if you really want, and this is where a lot of our African brothers and sisters, they fail. Okay, you've seen this, and that's really why we started these programs, to help those who are already here. Okay, a lot of our people, as much as, people back in Kenya, they think people in the diaspora make a lot of money. We actually don't make that much money compared to some other immigrants here in the US. For example, Indians. Okay, Indians here in the US, they make around $100,000 per year. That's their median household income. Okay, they make more than the white Americans. White Americans here, they make around 60,000. Okay, typical Americans, yeah? Can you see the gap? What Indians are making, and Indians are immigrants like us, and what Americans are making, a gap of like $40,000 per year. Why is that so? Because Indians, they've perfected, all of them, they usually go to really well-paying jobs in the US. Why in those Indians that I went to school with, what when nilikuwa nao kwa the same master's program, hakuna mwindi siku hizi akuangi na kazi mzuri sana. Most of them, okay, they had really good jobs in corporate America where you are implementing like, IT projects. Okay, now, to answer your question, you need job skills, okay, on top of your academic skills for you to actually get a good job as an international student here in the US. Remember I said, companies here, they don't just go hiring anybody out there just because umekuja hapa na MBA or umekuja na masters. No, they don't. Because the US government requires them to hire Americans first. Okay, and the US government has set up some visas for people who have the right skills. Okay, the right skill meaning they have skills that Americans don't have, because the US government, they don't just want to dish out good jobs and immigration papers to just anybody out there. They want good ones, right? When you are on skills, then Americans are one. So those are the ones that they want to give these jobs. Okay, now if you come here, and I like addressing smart people, okay, because those are the people that also you want in our program. So if you are smart, okay, and you come here and you do just an MBA, you're not going to get a job. You're going to be struggling once you graduate from school. Okay, same thing happened to me. In fact, actually, I had to extend school by 1 semester when I was doing my master's because I could not find a job. Me, when I graduated, I was working at Wendy's. Wendy's is a fast food, making minimum wage. And all the Indians that I was in the same class with, all of them, they're working somewhere as business analysts, systems analysts, making good money already. And here I am, I've extended my school by 1 semester. Okay, because I didn't know. You see, these are things that a lot of our people don't know. And that's why I always like talking about these things. When you're back in Kenya, all people want to do is just to come to America. They don't care about what happens after that. And that's even how I was when I was in Kenya. All I wanted is to come to America. Okay, and I got my visa. I was so happy, and I thought, you know what? I'm not gonna come back. But if you asked me how I was to get a job after I graduated from school, I had no clue. But these Indians, what they've done, an Indian before they get here in the US, they already know that they're gonna finish school, they're gonna do this, okay, this training on the side, okay, and they're gonna be working this job maybe a year after they graduated from school. Okay, even when I was in the IT industry, I worked in the IT industry for about 5 years before I quit and started my company. Those guys that I was working with, some of my friends, I remember asking one of my friends, we were having a drink, Indian guy. And I asked him, like, did you really know that you would be doing this kind of job that you are doing now as an Oracle systems analyst? Like, we used to make really good money, like really good. And he told me, yes. I asked him, like, did you know that you would be doing that kind of a job when you're still in India? You know what he told me? He told me, yes, he knew. And that's why these guys are doing so well here in the US. Mutembe, ukienda like nice neighborhoods around Tampa, in the big cities, Those people who live there, it's Indians. Apart from the white Americans, utapata watu wetu huko. Because watu wetu, they are not doing good jobs here in America. Don't be lying. I mean, I like talking to brilliant, smart people who want to actually make good money. Me, siongei mtu anataka kuja kufanya job ya $15 hapa America. If you are that kind of a person, I cannot help you even kutafutia kazi kama hizo. Because the kind of jobs that we try to get people, these are consulting jobs. These are jobs where companies are paying you good money to solve complex IT problems. Companies have so many IT projects that goes on a daily basis. Even us as a company, we have an IT program we are running right now, project we are running right now. We need brains. These companies need people who can actually do those kind of jobs. All right, and how can you be able to do that? You have to have the skill that is needed. Your academic skill cannot help you. Ukienda kufanya MBA peke yake, utatoka hapo na MBA, utapata job, you'll be struggling just like the way I used to struggle. That's why you need to get trained on the side. Kama mimi sasa venye ni graduate shule and I figured out how I ndio napata job, nikaenda sasa nikafanya training ya IT. Mimi sikuwa na IT background. Me, I had done BCom kutoka Kenya, my friend. BCom from Kenya, I came here for my MBA. Nakuja namaliza MBA, one semester sipati kazi, hata internship. I'm telling you, I could not find one. But hizi jobs zingine huku hizo utapata. Me, I'm not talking about job ya $10, $15. No. I'm talking about job yenye unalipwa vizuri, corporate world, America. Okay, if you want that, you have to have the skills that is needed. Okay, and that's why I got trained now on IT job skills. I got trained as an Oracle systems analyst. Nikatrainiwa for about 5 months. Alafu sasa nikapewa kazi. That's how I was able to get into the IT industry. Me, I don't even know how to code. I can't write even one single line of code because unaona hata watu wanaogopa IT sana. IT can be done by anybody as long as you just need to be smart also, and you also need to something that you like, but don't be scared that IT it's all about coding. So anyways, that's how someone can be able to get a job. You have to have the skills. Remember, as a student, you're on a student visa. You need to get a work visa here in the US once you graduate from school. If you don't get a work visa, you will be back to Kenya. I've seen so many students. Even the other day, man, we were in a party for Kenyans. We invited. I saw some Kenyan students wako na ma PhD. Tumeenda kwa party anatuambia, as we are going back, we couldn't find a job. PhD students. Wamefanya PhD, I don't know, music, English, whatever. You see? So, this is the problem that I keep on seeing a lot of times. Our people, that's why we struggle here. Back in Kenya, kila mtu anadhani mtu wako huku diaspora wako na pesa. Okay, if you're comparing someone in the diaspora and someone who is in Kenya, I mean, even the one who is making minimum wage here, it's going to look like it's a lot of money. But as a smart person, you're not coming here for $15, $20 even. No. We want smart people. I always tell smart people, like, come here, make good money. Make what Indians are making. Because that's why Indians are able to go to very nice, they live in very nice neighborhoods. They take their kids to very nice schools here in the US. Waindi wa huku ni kama wa Kenya, by the way. They are the ones who have money. Mzungu ana pesa, muhindi ni akona pesa hapa America.
You're watching Success with Bob Mwiti Show, presented to you by Appstech America. Appstech America is a consulting company that helps immigrants find amazing higher education and job opportunities in the tech industry in the United States. You can find our programs by going to www.appstechamerica.com. Appstech America, we wake you up to the unlimited potential within you.
So kwa hii program yako, do you offer these other side training yenye unasema ama they just go for the academic?
That's what I said earlier. Our program is not just about coming here kukuja shule. Tunajua, see, like someone who was putting some something there saying that our program is expensive. We know that you can actually go and look for a school on your own on the internet. It's that easy. We don't do anything different for us to apply to a school for you. Okay. Now, if you are looking at like that, then of course you see no value for joining our program. This program is for actual people who can see the value of the program, and those are the students that we like dealing with. If you can't, it's okay. You don't have to get through the program. Okay, so if you can see the value, those who are able to see beyond just coming to the US, that's what the problem is. Do you know how many Africans don't have the right immigration documents here in the US? 30%, they don't have the documents. And you know what? Majority of those people, they came here as international students. So what does that mean, Motembe? It means someone came here on a student visa. They were not able to transition to a worker's visa. It's very hard. Not many people can do that. Okay, not many people can do that. Because remember, I've told you, companies here can only sponsor you because you have to be sponsored by a company. And for you to be sponsored, you have to have a skill Americans don't have. Sasa ukikuja hapa umefanya sijui kazi ya sijui kwenye nilikuwa nafanya Equity Bank, Teller jobs hapa my friend. Teller jobs ni za watu wa high school. Unajua Teller ukua job ya Teller huko Kenya unajua ni graduates.
I was actually my first job ilikuwa Teller. I used to work with Equity Bank. That was kitambo sana.
Hata mimi ilikuwa Teller job. My friend, unakuja na Teller job hapa ati unasema sijui this is the experience that I have. Americans watakuangalia hivi. Like, are you serious? That's how you uko na masters. You see, that's the problem that a lot of our people have. They don't know how now to get those skills that are needed. And that's really what we focus on. That's what I was saying. Our program, there's so many people out there, they can't see what the program is solving, and it's okay. Okay, it's okay, it's fine. We get a lot of people. We enroll students on a daily basis, by the way, in our program. It's quite popular. Okay, on a daily basis. And these are smart guys who really know exactly what they want. It's not just a matter of coming to the US to study. Hata wewe unaweza enda kwa online, fanya application, itaingia. Hakuna magic hapo. Yes. So we are focusing on the problems that people are facing here in the US. Uliza watu wenye wako huku, wenye wanaweza kuambia ukweli wa mambo. Things on the ground. Okay, Kenyans, I'm telling you, Kenyans here in the US you see, the best performing African immigrant group of immigrants, in terms of median household income, it's Nigerians. They make around 60,000 per year. Wakenya bado atufiki hata wa Nigeria. By the way, Nigerians here, they are usually like very, saa zingine naona Wakenya tunasema we are aggressive and all that, but huwezi fikia Nigeria. After Mwindi, Nigerians are doing very, very well in our community. They are the ones who make most money here in the US. And in fact, actually, even through our training programs in the tunafanyanga, most people come to us after Kenyans. They are usually Nigerians. They are usually very aggressive people. They are willing to go into these tech jobs and do the job. Okay, they make more money. So, when someone is out there, most people out there, they think like diaspora here, there's money and all that. It all depends with what you are comparing yourself to. If you are comparing yourself with someone who is in Kenya working as a teller, na ukuja hapo ufanye $10, that's understandable. You are comparing with the wrong people. Okay, but now, when you come here and you are smart, okay, you have the brains. I'm talking about people who can actually solve complex issues, companies. Not just anybody. I don't like our programs. We don't like dealing with those guys who can't fit in our profile, because those are the students that we want. We want those ones who can actually be able to succeed here in the US through the right way. Okay, because here's the thing, man. A lot of Africans wanakutanga huku. Sasa ukisikia hiyo 30% people don't have the right documents, it means those guys, they are here illegally. They don't have the papers. Okay. Now, kama una makaratasi hapa, you can't work now corporate job, because a corporate job will require you to show your visa. Hawezi fanya. Sasa job yenye utafanya ni gani? Hizi zenye unalipwa under the table. So that's what happens to a lot of our people in our community. Most of them, these are people who came to the US, they had no strategy, nothing. Walikuja kama students, they had no funding. Wakakuja wakapresent bank statements somewhere in Kenya, wakaclaim it's their uncle, wakapata visa, they don't have anything, no funding at all to go to the school that they wanted to go. Wanakuja huku wanadhani, they will go to school and they'll be able to work and pay for the school fees. Huwezi fanya hivyo. It's not possible. Unless you're seriously a joker. Really, you don't care about your status here in the US as a student. I'm telling you, man, here in the US, once you come as a student, you must maintain that student status. Hata kama umepewa visa ya 5 years on your passport, because that's what you get. Let's say, for example, you come here for 2 years, masters. Okay. After 2 years, hata kama uko na passport, uko na visa ya 5 years, you still, I mean, visa, it's for you just to enter the US. Staying in the US as a student is what is most important. Lazima uende shule, lazima ulipe kila kitu yenye unafaa ulipe. Okay, and that's a mistake a lot of our people make. They come here, they are not prepared, see school fees, see anything. All they want is just to come here in the US, just land. Okay, that may be good for some people, okay, but if you're out there and you're really smart, okay, if you're someone who can be able to get into corporate world, you know yourself, you're smart, don't go that route. Come here when you have the funding. Come here when you know exactly how you're going to transition from being a student to a skilled worker. Have those strategies in place. That's how you can be able to succeed. You won't be struggling like the rest of the people. It's not like people, we don't talk about these immigration papers, illegal people here in the US. We don't like talking about that because it's a very sensitive issue to talk about. Mambo ya makaratasi, watu waongeangi your story. When you're in Kenya, no one tells you about that. Oh, unajua, where kuja tu, come on a visit visa, just come and land here. Go to some event or graduation, you get an invitation letter, unakuja hapa. Although you are very smart back in Kenya, ulikuwa unafanya kazi mzuri huko Kenya, and you have the skills, unakuja hapa na visit visa. Visit visa, it doesn't allow you to work. The only job that you can do is under the table, here and there. Even if you ulikuwa manager huko Kenya, watu wengi sana wako huku. They used to do very well back in Kenya, but here, the job that they are doing, they don't even like them. This is not something that they would have wanted to do if they were in Kenya. And it's why, because most of them, walikuja on a visit visa, they don't have the documents. And if you don't have the documents, then you can't go into corporate America. Okay, I see this mistake a lot of times. People get misadvised. Okay, I'm talking about just smart people. Okay, if you're smart out there, right? Someone who is brilliant. The rest, yes, that's fine. If you are interested just to come to the US and come no matter what, yes, you can do that. But I'm not addressing you. I'm addressing those brilliant ones who really want to come and study here in the US, and actually once they are done with school, they get good jobs. Those are the ones that I focus on. Okay, if you are like that, don't come here. Don't be told, come for a conference, come for a graduation. Because even getting that visitor visa, it's going to be very hard. And once you come here on a visit visa, utafanya kazi, you can't, you're not allowed to work. Now the only job that utafanya, utaambiwa na Mkenya mwenzako hapa, kuja utusaidie kufanya hapa, unalipwa tu chini $10. Sasa $10 wewe itakufanya nini? You can't do much with $10. You can't do much with $15, even $20, man. Lazima tuchanuke. This is what I normally preach. Even if you go to my YouTube channel, I have a lot of information out there about studying here in the US the right way. The right way. There's a lot of people out there, maybe they don't even like my approach of handling, these issues and all that. They want me to cover everybody, but I don't like doing that. I don't like doing that because I want those to help those good ones who really want to come and study here in the US, graduate from school, finish their masters, and then get good jobs in corporate America and get papers to live and work here in the US long term.
Okay. Kuna mwingine anauliza hapa kama amefanya Bachelor of Education, anaweza change kuja kwa hiyo masters ya IT ama business.
Yes, you can come and do an IT master's program even if you have any kind of undergraduate. Okay. Now, the problem is at the embassy also, you have to show, let's say for example, if you're coming for a master's, you have to show that you are coming to study something that is tied to what you did for your undergraduate or something that you've been doing. Because otherwise, when you go for that visa, they're going to think that you're not serious. That's one of the main reasons why people get denied visas. So now, for example, what we do in our programs, right? Because we know that. Okay, let's say, for example, Kenya, most people did what they did for their undergraduate because the government gave, you got an admission to do that kind of a degree. You didn't even like it. Maybe you didn't get the right cluster points. Okay, no, me, I went to the Kenyan, I did my undergraduate in Kenya, so I know that whole process. So a lot of people, maybe they didn't want to do that kind of a degree. It happens a lot. And now they want to get into IT. It's possible. But now if you go to that story that I did Bachelor of Education at the embassy, and you are coming now to do IT Masters, most likely they're going to deny you visa. So what you need to do, because now, like for example, in our program, okay, those guys who are coming through our programs, they don't have any IT background. We also train them on IT, like we call them prerequisite courses. For example, if you're coming for an IT master, there's some programming classes that you have to do. If you're coming for some analytics classes, there's some statistics classes that you have to do. These are usually undergraduate level classes. Okay, so any student who is coming through a program and they don't have an IT or business background, which blends very well with IT, blends very well with IT, then we give them those prerequisite courses, okay, through the program. Wanna learn is Python, nini, all those, so that now even when they go to the embassy, actually they've shown that they've already done some other courses that are in IT, and that's why they're actually coming to do an IT master's program. Okay, even the school here, for them to accept you, you have to have a very competitive looking resume, okay, profile, because you are competing with some Indian guys in India. Indians, they're usually the ones who are in the tech industry, man. They do so well even in those GMAT exams. Okay, so you don't just come just like that. Okay, you don't just come back. I mean, you don't just come like that with just any undergraduate. You have to know exactly what you need to do, because if you go with that story, you're not gonna get the visa.
Kuna next question hapo.
Bob, I have an MSc in math and I can code using Python and R. Is there a way I can get into your program, leaving alone my admittance for a PhD, as I asked earlier? Yes. In fact, actually, have a very good background, math and computers. That's the kind of student that we like. Yeah, you can definitely take up another master's. Maybe you can do masters in data science. It's a very, very good program. Okay. And you're going to be able to get a good job here. So you can actually get into the program. What you can do is you can go to our program website, which is www.kenyaairliftprogram.com. Go there, download the program handbook, get to know exactly how the program works, the schools that we work with, the lenders, everything about the program, and you should be able to get in. You don't have to come for your PhD. And someone here is asking about diploma holders. Now, as we work with the master's students, and for you to come and study a master's program, you need an undergraduate degree. Okay, not a diploma, undergraduate degree. So that's the only way that you can be able to take up a master's program. Okay, someone is asking whether advocates can get good jobs in USA. I know for a fact that law is big here in the US. Okay, I've dealt with lawyers. I've dealt with lawyers here. I know how much they charge. A lot of money. You go crazy, especially if you have a company and you have a lawsuit. So yeah, so it's a good profession. Very, very good. Pays well. Okay, someone here is saying, I've been offered a place in the UK. I want to progress after the MSc in Business Analytics. Which course can I do to enhance my skills? Well, if you are doing something to do with business analytics, you can take up, like, for example, a data science program. Okay, we also have that kind of a program. We also have, like, for example, robotics, process automation, a business analyst or a developer. We also have Oracle Financial Systems Analyst training. So those are the kind of trainings that you can take on the side that will enable you get now those skills that are needed in the job market. Whether it's in the US, UK, maybe Australia, these developed countries, they're usually pretty much the same. So that's what you need to focus on.
Naona tumeenda past our time.
Okay.
Na bado watu wanauliza maswali, so I think the other questions tutajibu on Sunday, because I still have you on Sunday.
Yes, I think we can handle those other questions, and yeah, I'll see you on Sunday.
for now naambia watu wa subscribe to your YouTube channel wakuja kuona the things you teach about America. Guys, Bob
Yes.
anadeal na sana sana na wale watu wanataka kupata jobs za skilled workers, si hizi zingine zetu za kawaida zenye huwa tuna advertise hapa. So if umesoma sana, you want to do masters and what have you, kindly just follow him kwa YouTube, ukisearch Bob Mwiti, Facebook Bob Mwiti utampata hapo, and then you can communicate with him na utasaidika sana sana sana. For now tunaiachia hapo because we can see so many questions, but on Sunday tutakuwa tuna host Mwita hapa each and every Wednesday and Sundays. So you can just keep your questions whenever tukienda live, you can just come and then utajibiwa hapa. Otherwise Mwiti, I'm so grateful, at least umeelimisha watu. Many people huko wanakuja tu hizi job za kawaida.
Yeah.
So we are trying to change the mindset, at least watu wakujie job kubwa huko.
Yep.
Otherwise you can give your
Okay.
final remarks tukimalizia.
Okay, so thank you so much, Mutembe. I think I don't have much to say. There's a lot that we'll be sharing. Next time I will cover all the questions. There's so much that I know a lot of people out there, they have a lot of questions. Okay, I want to answer, I'll be able to answer all those questions for you. I came to the US as a student. I was successfully completed my school. I got a very good job. I used to work as a systems analyst, making of six-figure salary. That's over $1 million Kenya shillings a month. I preach, I teach, I preach what? How do we say? You know, whatever I preach is basically what I've done. Okay, I don't just come here and start saying something that I have no idea about. Okay, this is a journey that I've walked. I came here, I worked a very nice job in corporate America, working for Fortune 500 companies. And then after that, I started a very successful consulting firm. So whatever I talk about, I said, me, I'm a very direct person, by the way. Maybe some of the audience, they might be like, oh, this guy is just focusing on this. Well, it's how I am. Okay, I say things directly the way they are. I don't sugarcoat anything. So I'll tell you the truth. Some of it, you might like it. Others, you might not like it. And that's okay. Okay, so I'll see you guys next week. On Sunday.
You've been watching Success with Bob Mwiti Show, brought to you by Upstack America. Come back next time to hear more steps and missteps that I took on the path to becoming a successful immigrant in USA. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn.